Something strange is going on inside the Dallas Cowboys organization as we have some major updates on the contract discussions between the Dallas Cowboys and George Pickens, and why the worst might actually be coming more true than we want to think. We break it all down of what I mean and the latest news behind this Dallas Cowboys squad going into the NFL draft and some key points you're going to want to know here today on Cowboys Digest. Welcome everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. Appreciate you hanging out with me here on this fine Friday. Hope you are excited for the weekend. I know I am. But today we've got some Cowboys news to break down and something that I don't exactly like talking about because, well, it's not good news when it's all said and done. But I digress, and things could change from now until the NFL draft, or even from now until the start of the 2026 season. However, we do have some updates on GP3. We had some updates on Brandon Aubrey as well, but Brandon Aubrey went onto a podcast and basically said, I plan to be a Cowboy this year, so not going to worry or stress too much about a kicker. We can talk about the contract issues if you want. Ultimately, the Cowboys offered him some money. He wanted more, and they're still kind of stuck in that limbo right now. But for George Pickens, it's a lot different. Calvin Watkins had the report on him yesterday saying this. When it comes to Pickens, no contract talks. He's been placed under franchise tag at $27.2 million. Last we checked, Jerry Jones said Pickens wants to be a Cowboy. It seems at this stage, Pickens will play under the tag and keep it moving. But so much can change between now and camp. I don't love this. One, because there was supposedly a lot of contract discussions going on at the NFL Combine. We are now 3-4 weeks past that, and nothing. No reports, no contract talks. It's been dead silent. And while I understand to an extent, because when you have an agency like David Mungai has with Athletes First and George Pickens' agency, they're going to speak to you in person a lot of times. So I expect a lot of the contract discussions to be held at OTAs, at minicamp, even preseason could happen, and I wouldn't be shocked if they got a deal done in August. But right now, there's just not a lot of news behind it, and that in itself is just one thing, because you're looking at a potential $30+ million wide receiver. In fact, Spotrac now has his market value set at 30.6. Mind you, this has gone up pretty much every time we've checked it. It was about 29 million at the start of the offseason, then went to 30 million, then was 30.2, then 30.4, now 30.6. The market is increasingly getting larger for George Pickens, which, of course, I mean, it's one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League, and what he did last season was very spectacular. Obviously, stat system a little broken, but we have the stats right here. 1,429 yards. Just really overall a fantastic season from him, and the full stat sheet continues to say that. I mean, he had by far his best season last year with the Dallas Cowboys, and with Dak Prescott as his quarterback and CeeDee Lamb right beside him, who he has been documented to be hanging out with this all season, it just makes sense for the Cowboys to want to keep him. So where's the strange come in? Well, that's where we have kind of some interesting reports coming out of the NFL draft. Now, I want to make this very clear. There's no down hard evidence that this, what I'm about to tell you, means they're going to move George Pickens, not sign him to whatever it might be. But it is an interesting fact. You see here, the Cowboys have had 4 top 30 visits. And if you don't know, you get about 30 of these top 30 visits. Obviously, top 31. And you get to meet with the players, discuss, and obviously, in theory, those are the guys that you want to draft. Well, an interesting name popped up on the board because the number one guy they met with right away, Manzoor Lane. That seems to be their number one guy at pick number 12. No really surprise there. Really would like him. The surprise comes the second guy they met with, Omar Cooper Jr., a wide receiver out of Indiana. Now, he is projected to be a second-round pick, but the Cowboys do not have a second-round pick right now. And if they are willing to use a first-round / trade a first-round to get Omar Cooper, whatever it might be, that begs the question of how confident are they in getting George Pickens on a long-term deal, or do they believe that the franchise tag will be used this season and then he'll sign somewhere else next year? The other 2 visits, by the way, Kamari Ramsey, a safety out of USC. He's a projected 3rd-round pick. And then Rene Konga, a defensive lineman out of Louisville. He's the guy who's actually a UDFA is the expectation for him, but they decided to use one of their visits on him. Now, again, this does not necessarily mean that the Cowboys are going to go away from George Pickens. I don't want to make it seem like that, but Still, Omar Cooper Jr. had a fantastic career at the University of Indiana, obviously this past year, becoming the champions of college football, and he was a huge part of that. You look at his receiving totals this past season with 937 yards, averaging 13.6 yards per reception, and 13 touchdowns after a 7-touchdown season, averaging 21.2 yards per catch. Yeah, I mean, this guy is very, very good. But again, he's a projected early to mid-second rounder. So if the Cowboys want to get him, they have one of two options. Take the risk, draft him higher at pick 20, or the better and more likely option, trade from pick 20. Move down, whether it be get a pick in round 2 and go to pick 32, or get pick 30 and draft him there, whatever it might be, and get a round 3 pick. Either way you slice it, the prospect of them meeting with Omar Cooper Jr. is a little interesting to me. Now, they could be just doing their due diligence, and that is something that the Cowboys have done in the past, where they have met with needs outside of what they have on their team. We just signed Javonte Williams, let's meet with some running backs, or this, that. Like, it's kind of just the way the Cowboys have gone about these things at times. That still doesn't allow for us as the fans to look at this in any other way than, man, we have CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Ryan Flanoy, and we're coming out here and saying, yeah, we're going to meet with Omar Cooper Jr. Now, I don't like it. We definitely could see some things, but Mauricio Rodriguez, I think, puts it in a very good light. He says this: the decision to use a pre-draft visit on him is somewhat of a surprise. Though they may want to take a closer look, Dallas is expected to focus on defense, as they have holes at inside linebacker, somewhat edge rusher, and still at cornerback. So the fact of the matter is this: you go to the offensive depth chart, and there are very few holes on this list. You think about what you've got and say, okay, your wide receiver room actually looks pretty solid with GP3, CeeDee, and Flanoy. Like, I think Flanoy could be a 2 in a lot of wide receiver rooms. I think he's underrated. Your offensive line is obviously in a good spot. You got some depth there with Matt Hennessy. Your quarterback, obviously, as long as Prescott's good, you're in a good spot. You also got a better secondary backup. You have Jake Ferguson in your tight end slot. Like, you're in good positions all across this offensive field. And the defensive side, there's still holes. The inside linebacker, to say the least. The edge rushing position. Potentially even an interior defensive lineman to play alongside Otito Ogbonnia. And having Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams playing every snap is going to be something you got to be worried about. So there's just holes that I would like them to fix. And in some cases, I wouldn't mind them getting another safety. I know they already signed 2, but that's just a huge problem last year that I would like to avoid having a problem for the next couple of years, and that would do so by drafting one. But overall, I get a little concerned. Now, I don't know what I'm more concerned with. The fact that we're not going, or again, this is not a guarantee, but the fact that they might not draft defensive players at picks number 12 and 20, or if they trade pick 20, they might get an offensive and defensive player. I don't know if I'd mind that, but the bigger concern is, what does this mean for GP3? You haven't talked to him or his agents in 3 different weeks. You've got CeeDee Lamb posting videos on his Instagram story with him and GP3 in a car, hanging out at middle of the off season. Like, it's tough. And so, don't get me wrong, Omar Cooper Jr. is a fantastic wide receiver. His PFF stats, they're going to be really otherworldly. His receiving grade last year, 86. His drop grade, 82.9. Like, these things are not just little small things to look at. They are huge things, and the fact that he has improved his PFF grade from 23 to 24 to 25 just shows you the type of receiver you would be getting in Omar Cooper Jr. But the concern level for George Pickens for me has definitely risen over the past couple days. So I want to ask for your opinion. Has your concern level risen after finding out this information or knowing this information on GP3? I want you to let me know in the comment section with a rating. 1 will be least concerned. 5 will be most concerned. I want you to put a number down in the comment section on your thoughts on this. Are you really concerned? Are you not concerned? Let me know your 2 cents down in the comment section. I'd say before the top 30 visit and the report of GP3 not having any contact with the Cowboys, I probably was at a 2, just because I had the thought, yeah, he could definitely be moved. There's that always chance. But I don't know that I'm yeah, that's going to happen. But now with the news of Omar Cooper Jr. not having a lot of discussions, I'm going to say 3, maybe even 3.5. The concern level might not even be that they don't get him this year. The concern level might be more for me that we have the final year of George Pickens in front of us, and then he's going to sign somewhere else after this upcoming season, and the franchise tag wears off. So that's the concern that maybe I see in this situation. Whereas the Cowboys in their cap space situation, the way they've talked about this offseason, should easily be able to pay this $30 million to GP3. Will they is the question. How will they do it? It's things we got to answer and things we got to have to kind of question for ourselves here as we continue on in the offseason. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Obviously, this is an ongoing situation, so we'll keep you updated with everything we know. For now, though, guys, we do appreciate you watching, and we're going to say peace out for now.